A python that lives underground hears the cries of the animals, slowly crawled out of the cave. He didn't realize he hadn't been out of his cave for 3 days. What was once a forest has become a waste. The frog explains. It's not just here. And farther away in the great forest, the rivers, lakes, and waterfalls had all turned to dry land. And all of this water went upstream, all the way to the heavens. The reason for this phenomenon is because the heavenly emperor invited the god of drought to play chess with him. He lost the bet on the water sources. As a result, they can't survive now. In order to survive, they had to move as a group. On the way, they accidentally found a puddle. Inside, a mother carp and her children still live. She asked them not to drink the water, and told them, there's a cliff to the north that leads to the sky. If they could climb it, you'll have a chance to seek justice from the emperor. As soon as she spoke, the pool of water was instantly vaporized. Looking at the dying mother and child, the elephant couldn't help but cry. The tears were like 2 fountains, filled up the pool, just in time to save them. Finally, the frog lamented, there are too many lives, have left because of the bet between the 2 heavenly emperors. Now they must go up to the sky to stop it. But the cliffs are too steep. They had to ask the python for help. After listening to the frog's description, the python climbed up the cliff to the heavens. The animals look on in amazement at his huge form. For a moment, they seemed to see that they could go on living. The god of heaven invited the god of drought to play chess with him. He lost all the water on earth. The earth became dry in an instant. The animals begged the python for help, to use his body to climb a cliff that leads to the sky. The python climbed up the cliff to the sky. Then the frog told everyone to jump on the python's body, and let the python take them up. But the python could only take so many animals up. So the frog picked out a few animals that looked strong enough to go up. Then the python wriggled and coiled its way upwards. And just then, the heavy bear slipped, but the python sensed it in time, and hooked it back up with its tail. Finally, the python climbed for a whole day and a whole night, and finally arrived at the emperor's palace. Then the frog and the animals began to discuss the plan. According to the plan, he would first beat the drum to seek justice. The others hid behind the stone statue. They listened to his plan and acted accordingly. When he heard the sound of the drum, the old dragon king who was in charge of guarding the gate, immediately called the rooster to chase them away, because the heavenly emperor has instructed that no one is allowed to enter while he's playing chess. The frogs lured them to the rocks. Then the fox swooped in and attacked them. He's hungry now. In the end, the rooster couldn't beat the fox and ran away. The dragon king calls for the hounds. The foxes retreat tactically. The bear stands up and roars. The dogs try to attack, but they were all knocked down one by one. He fled home in the same state as the rooster. The dragon king had no choice but to fight them himself. The animals hiding behind the rocks all jumped out and fought with him. Without help, the dragon king lost the battle. The fox saw the opportunity, asked the frog to go to the palace to complain to the emperor. The dragon king saw the scene. He immediately shook off the other animals. He rushed forward to stop him, but he was quickly stopped again. Finally, the frog came to the hall with a bounce in his step. At that moment, the heavenly emperor was still pondering over the chessboard by himself. He didn't know that the frog had entered there, until he jumped on the stone board and croaked. Then the emperor was awakened. The god of heaven scolded the frog. How did he get in here? The old dragon king hid behind a stone pillar and didn't dare to say a word. Then the frog told him about the suffering of the world. He begged him to open the water source. After hearing this, the emperor looked out the window with the crystal. Then he realized the drought god's bets with him. He actually wanted to expand his territory, to raise his status. The heavenly emperor regretted it very much, but he had already lost all the water to the god of drought. The frog suggested that he could provide white clouds to the earth. The emperor realized the truth. He went to a lotus flower and recited some kind of incantation. The lotus blossomed layer by layer. At last, a white cloud with positive and negative electricity emerged, flying out of the window. On the other hand, the god of drought blocked all the water that came to him underground. While he was gloating, a large dark cloud gathered in the sky. The god of drought saw that the situation was not good. He tried to stop it with his hands, but how could he stop the will of heaven? In a flash, it started to rain. All the mountains and rivers came back to life. Animals played happily in the water. Then the emperor called for a rainbow to build a bridge for the animals and send them to the earth, and promised that he would never make such a stupid bet again.